Hello everyone, konnichiwa minasan, it's Koneko here, and for today's video I'd like to talk to you about long, thick, curly hair and wigs. So whether you have long hair, curly hair, any hair similar to mine or not, some of these might be good tips for you or things that you didn't know. I'm just going to be talking a lot about my opinion and how I deal with all of this hair in some really short wigs. So first off, this is relatively my natural hair, but I'm gonna have to insert a photo of it washed and air dried because it is even more curly and frizzy and hard to deal with when it's straight out of the shower. So I will insert a photo here. And this has been straightened a bit, mainly to take down some of the frizziness. I find, straightening, especially up top, kind of helps tame that frizziness that happens up here. Also, it does pull out some of my natural curls, but I often will straighten it really well anyways. So my hair is relatively thick. There's a lot of it. It's really messy right now too because I was doing another video. I did have another wig on, and before I would put this in a wig, I would definitely straighten it some more because that will just help flatten it. It does create more of a length when I straighten it. Right now it's down to, I have shorts on under here, which is about my hip-ish area. So the next step that I am going to do before I show putting on a wig and talk more about wigs in general is I'm going to straighten this a bit more. There, so I gave my hair kind of a quick straightened for the purpose to get this video done. So it's still a little bit wavy in areas, but I think it's pretty straight. Usually I would straighten my hair the night before a con, try to straighten it really well, then sleep on it, then wake up and straighten it again, because when I brush my hair gets really poofy even if I straighten it and I'm brushing it. So right now it's still a little bit poofy, but I think it'll be fine for the purpose of this video. Next thing I want to show you is the wig caps. Now you can get wig caps that are like a hair net, they're like netted style, or you can get the wig cap that's like more of a solid material. And I prefer these because it allows your head to breathe a bit. I also, if my head's itchy, I just kind of like jab my finger through the wig and through the hairnet and like scratch it. So they often come in little packages like this. Sometimes it'll give you directions on them depending on where you buy them. Also, this one says breathable, stretch fabric, appropriate length. I don't know if that just means it can hold a lot of hair. I know they hold pretty well, but I always love, and I always say that I love when wigs come with new wig caps, because long hair, thick hair will stretch the heck out of these. You could get quite a few uses out of them. Some of mine that are quite stretched, I mainly just wear them for when I take pictures just at home, in my room, sometimes with photo shoots depending. Usually I can tell if it's going to be an issue or not, but when you're taking photos you can easily manipulate stuff a bit better. But when you're at cons, I love having a new, like very new hairnet, so that I can make sure that everything stays tucked up in there. And it has a bottom and top. The part that you want around your forehead in the end has a thicker part on it. And then the end doesn't really have, it has like a little finish, but it doesn't have a thick end because this part you want to end up kind of closing up at the top. So I'm gonna go ahead and show you how I put this on. So first I make sure that my hair is back. Some people put their hair in braids, like a lot of small braids so that there's no bulk, and then also use pins to keep it up. I don't use any of that stuff really. I've got the bottom thicker part here, the top part here, and I'm just going to put it over my head. Put it around my neck, bring my hair up. Then I'm gonna make sure, which I sometimes do it upside down a lot, but make sure that thick band is still there. And you want it to come up. Here, I usually tuck, then I'm gonna pull up the other end, and yes, I'll leave it down like this for now, and then I'll fix that later. And what I do is I will go inside the top and I will move it around a bunch. Especially when it's straightened, it's a lot easier to do, to really flatten that out so there's barely any bumps at all. If you find it's a bit bumpy on one side, you can just move that hair around. Brings them up to the top too. There's surprisingly a lot of room at the top of wig, especially if you get wigs with good netting inside them. And if you ever mess up down here, too much is sticking out, if it's a really short wig, I might go back and try putting it on and being careful, because I do have a little bit of hair down here, but I'm not gonna worry about that right now. Then I'm gonna pull on this, make sure all the hair's in there, and I'm just gonna give it a little tug and a twist so that it will stay closed on top of my head. First off is this short wig. I'm going to put on this wig, and it's kind of messy, but I'm gonna brush it once it's on. So inside this wig, it has a lovely netting. I like this kind of netting. It just is more sturdy, and it has like a part here so that I know to grab onto these right forward of my ears and then pull on it so that it stays. Make sure that this part here goes down like that on either side. I want to make sure that the back part is pulled and feels like it's covering the little bit of a bump that I still have back there for my hair. Now, wigs come with these that you can clip together to make it stay tight to your head. I usually just tuck them in. I don't find many wigs that are super loose on my head. My head's quite large, at least I think. Maybe it's because of all that hair, but sometimes when I tighten it with those things, it's a bit too tight. Now, because I have this here, I basically put it so forward so that it doesn't slide back, but I will move the wig forward and then slide them both back together till it's where I want it. And as for brushes, which you may have seen in another video of mine, I just use this simple brush that folds out. It's got a bit of hair in it right now, but usually I clean this out and then pack it in my con bag so that I have a little brush that I can just fold out, and there's a mirror on it as well so I can check things easily. I'm just gonna go ahead and brush this wig out. It's a shorter wig, so I don't worry too much about starting from the bottom brushing upwards, but I do that with my own hair and with longer wigs. I start at the bottom and then brush up. I make sure the knots are out at the bottom first before I go up so that you don't create a really huge knot at the bottom. If you have naturally long hair, you're probably used to that, unless your hair doesn't tangle very easily, but mine does. And I find that there's usually always little stringies and stuff, especially if it's by your bangs. So every time I put on a wig, I usually have to trim a bit back. Hair, you know, falls out a little bit, which I've never really had a super big problem with. I've just found it normal that wigs shed a bit. So there should be little to no bump back there, but now I am going to switch to a little bit of a longer wig. This is my pinkish wig. It's got a bit of like white in there that I use for Supersonico. Again, I'm going to pull this a bit forward because when I put wigs on, sometimes it likes to slide back, but I'll fix that later. I think my bump's all right. So again, it's a lot longer, so I'm bringing it behind me, but then I'm going to place it down further than I intend to actually wear the wig, just so that I can use my forehead to hold the wig as I pull the back down. And again, make sure that the front is in the little tabs, I guess, are in front of my ears there, and I make sure it's pulled past my little hair bump. And then I'm gonna make sure that these are tucked in, or that you fasten them. This wig is even tighter than the other one, so I definitely don't need those. I'm gonna bring all the hair forward because it'll be easier to brush if it's evenly on either side of me. Grab my wig, pull it forward, then push both it and the hairnet back at the same time. I'm gonna grab my trusty brush. This one's a bit longer, so I'm gonna start down here and then brush up, always holding this. If I'm gonna brush roughly, which I tend to do, I'm going to hold here tightly so that it's less likely to pull a lot of the hair directly from the netting in the wig, which is really good. I don't know if it's just something that I do, but even with my natural long hair, I will hold it up here when I'm brushing down there. I'm not being super aggressive. Some of the knots need a bit of a pull to get them out, especially underneath in the back. As I get to the top, I'll just kind of hold it. So those are just a few tips, tricks, or just things that I do with my own long hair to prepare it to go into a wig. What I do with my wig caps and how I put my wigs on and brush them out. I get comments mainly on my Instagram about how I keep my wigs looking so nice, and really I just store them, most of them, in plastic bag that they came in. Often wigs will come in little plastic bags like this. They zip up and seal. They still have holes on them so you can like press out the air. And most of them are just in a bin, which I did a video on where I keep all my cosplay items, which included like a whole section about my cosplay closet. And then I have a few that either should be on foam heads, and I definitely have one, my Sailor Moon one, on like a foam head. Like this is, I mean, it's just a straight, simple wig. It's not even that long. For really, really long ones, I will either twist them and then put them inside themselves, if that makes sense. This I can't really show on this blue one, but if this blue one was longer, I would twist it up and then fold it into here and then like sandwich it and then put it in the bag. My Blair one, because it has like wired curls, technically should be on a foam head as well. And I just got another new one that is a similar style to the Sailor Moon one, where it has like pigtails and then you clip on pigtails. That one is on a foam head, so I do need to get one or two more because there are a few that should probably be on a foam head just so that it doesn't get bent and stuff in a bag. But most of them are fine in a bag, and I always give them a quick brush out when I have them on anyways. The longer wigs, sometimes I need help getting it started, then I can put it on and kind of finish it up. I've always had really long hair, so brushing really long hair while it's on me just it is easy for me. It's what I'm used to. So that's what I tend to do. Now, there are several ways that people put on wigs and style wigs and brush wigs or take care of wigs. This is just kind of what I do. These are just my opinions. If it helped you at all, let me know in the comment section below. I really hope that it helped somebody. Make sure that you give this video a thumbs up so that I know that you like this video and that you would like to see more. If there's a certain type of video that you would like me to do, leave a comment down below. I always have links to everything, like my social media, in the description box below. And if you're new here and you like this type of content, please consider subscribing and turning on the bell icon to be notified when I post another video. I try to post every Wednesday and Saturday, sometimes with a vlog that comes up on Monday that kind of does an overview a little bit of my weekend. Well, I hope you enjoyed this video and I hope to see you in the next one. Thanks for watching. Bye! Comment down below, blue or pink.